Breaking news! Things are hot behind the scenes at the Steelers. Will Omar Khan open up the cash register and invest heavily in new signings? That's what I'm going to tell you now. I don't know about you, but I have a feeling that we're in for some surprises. I'll tell you everything. But first, make sure you've already hit the like button if you'd like to see Jaylen Ramsey on the Steelers this year. If you don't want that, hit the dislike button. In any case, comment like this: I want to see the Steelers in the Super Bowl. That's a dream that will soon come true. Now, let's get to what's really going on. In the last few hours, something happened that left all Steelers fans wondering, and the reason has a name: Jaylen Ramsey. Yes, my friends, ESPN's Adam Schefter made a big statement on the Pat McAfee show, claiming that Ramsey prefers a West Coast destination. But here's the kicker: he's been following several Steelers players on Instagram and even liked to post about new Steelers veterans. This isn't just smoke and mirrors, folks, it's a red flag. The situation is complicated. Ramsey's contract is hefty. He's set to make $21.1 million in cash this season. But here's the kicker: his salary cap hit would only be about $5.9 million, which the Steelers can technically handle given their current $18.8 million in cap space. But here's the real challenge: Pittsburgh is deep into negotiations with TJ Watt, balancing bonuses with guaranteed money. Paying Ramsey that much up front? It's a lot to ask of one of the NFL's most strapped ownership groups. Yet, despite all this, there are signs that Pittsburgh isn't backing down. The Steelers might be negotiating with Miami to take on more of Ramsey's contract, possibly sweetening the deal with a higher draft pick. They've got multiple fourth-rounders next year, so don't rule out the black and gold making a calculated play. And let's not ignore the optics. Ramsey's training out west at UCLA isn't out of the ordinary, but the social media breadcrumbs he's leaving behind are getting louder. Whether it's Joey Porter Jr. or other young Steelers catching his eye, Ramsey's digital footprints say he's at least curious. Now flip the script to the wide receiver market. Just weeks ago, there was real buzz about Amari Cooper and Keenan Allen potentially landing in Pittsburgh. But fast forward to today, and the optimism has cooled considerably. Even with Aaron Rodgers now in the building, yes, Aaron Rodgers, the idea of either Cooper or Allen joining the fold seems more distant. Allen himself recently downplayed any serious interest, admitting Rodgers' presence is intriguing but stopping short of committing to anything beyond that. This tells us one thing: the Steelers have bigger plans. Calls have reportedly gone out to Green Bay for Romeo Dew and Dontavian Wicks, to Tampa Bay about Trey Palmer, and to New Orleans about Chris Olave. And yes, tight ends like Jonnu Smith and even Kyle Pitts have been linked. If you were hoping Amari Cooper was the top target, you might want to adjust those expectations. The front office could be gunning for a younger, more explosive receiver, or maybe even going nuclear with a potential deal involving both Tyreek Hill and Jaylen Ramsey. I mean, can you even imagine? So here we are. The Steelers are positioning themselves for a serious leap, and every social media move, every whisper of a trade, is pointing to a front office that's not content with playing it safe. Omar Khan and company have shown time and time again that they are the masters of the smokescreen. They convinced the league they were going all in on Shatter Sanders before passing on him over and over in the draft, and now he's sitting buried in the Browns' QB depth chart while dealing with off-field troubles. Pittsburgh dodged a major bullet there. And speaking of Sanders, let's not overlook the irony. The Browns, who took a chance on him, now find themselves once again embroiled in controversy. Sanders has been clocked speeding multiple times in Ohio, over 100 miles per hour in a 60 zone most recently, and sources confirm he's been running with the backup squad through OTAs and minicamp. The Steelers, on the other hand, read the room perfectly. They never had Sanders as a top 5-round talent, despite the media circus insisting otherwise. So, Steelers Nation, the question is now in your hands. What do you make of all this? Are you hoping Pittsburgh pulls the trigger on Jaylen Ramsey? Do you think there's still a sliver of hope for Amari Cooper or Keenan Allen? Or are you excited about a more explosive name on the horizon? Drop your thoughts below. I want to hear from the real heartbeat of this franchise. And don't forget, if you're not already subscribed, hit that button now. This offseason is far from over, and if what I'm hearing is true, the Steelers are just getting started. Let's circle back to this wide receiver storyline, because while the national media has been throwing around names like Amari Cooper and Keenan Allen, what's happening behind closed doors in Pittsburgh suggests a very different strategy is at play. As each day ticks by without any real traction on Cooper or Allen, it's becoming clear that those names might have just been the appetizer in Omar Khan's master plan. Think about it. If Cooper was the real target, wouldn't he already be in the building catching passes from Aaron Rodgers? Rodgers didn't come to Pittsburgh to watch the offense fumble around with uncertainty. He came here to win, and win now. Yet, we're not hearing buzz about Cooper signing. And Keenan Allen? The man practically said it himself. He's not keen on Pittsburgh, despite the intrigue of Rodgers. So what gives? Here's what I'm picking up on. The Steelers are aiming higher. This isn't about adding just another veteran to plug a hole. This is about swinging big. That's why those phone calls to Green Bay and New Orleans matter. That's why whispers of Romeo Dew, Trey Palmer, Dontavian Wicks, and Chris Olave keep surfacing. It's not desperation, it's precision. Pittsburgh is playing chess, not checkers. They're not just trying to give Rodgers one more body on the outside. They're trying to weaponize this offense with speed, youth, and firepower. The front office has made calls about Tyreek Hill. Let that sink in. Tyreek Hill. Could you even imagine a Rodgers-Hill connection in Pittsburgh? Now, I'm not saying that deal is imminent, but the fact that it's even being discussed tells you everything about how bold this team is being right now. And let's not forget how quiet it's been from the Cooper and Allen camps. That silence speaks volumes. It means there's no momentum, no smoke, even less fire. Meanwhile, Ramsey's IG activity continues. That like on the NFL post about the Steelers' new vets? That wasn't random. These guys don't just scroll through the feed and double tap without thinking. Ramsey is watching. He's paying attention. He's got his eyes on Pittsburgh. Now let's bring TJ Watt into this. He's due for a serious cash payment with his bonuses coming up, and the team is actively working on structuring that money. That puts the Steelers in a position where they need to be surgical with any new contracts. They can't just throw $21.1 million in raw cash at Ramsey unless Miami picks up a chunk of the tab, and you better believe that's exactly what Pittsburgh is trying to make happen. It's a delicate dance. On one hand, they want Ramsey. On the other, they need to pay Watt and keep their cap space flexible heading into training camp. But if Miami bites, if they agree to absorb part of that money in exchange for a higher pick, we could see the deal go through, and suddenly this secondary becomes elite overnight. Think about it. Joey Porter Jr., Minkah Fitzpatrick, and Jaylen Ramsey. That's the kind of lockdown unit that wins playoff games in January. And while we're on the subject of winning, let's not pretend like the Steelers aren't well aware of what's going down in Cleveland. The Shatter Sanders situation has turned into a full-blown mess. The Browns, once again, have added chaos to their locker room. Sanders, who was hyped up as a top pick by the media, is buried on the depth chart behind Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, and Dylan Gabriel. Not only is he not competing for the starting job, he might not even make the roster. But it gets worse. The speeding incidents in Ohio, multiple violations, over 100 miles per hour on a highway, and poor combine interviews have solidified the league's skepticism. And let's not forget the report that the Steelers didn't even have a fifth-round grade on him. So all that noise about Pittsburgh love Shatter? Total smokescreen. The Steelers baited the media into thinking they were all in on Sanders, then passed on him over and over again. It was a classic con move. Let the media do your work while you execute the real plan behind the curtain. Hit that like button if you're loving the fire this front office is bringing. Drop a comment with the name of the wide receiver or cornerback you think Pittsburgh should go all in on. And make sure you're subscribed, because when the next deal breaks, we'll be here first with the details. More breaking news and big-time Steelers updates are coming your way. Don't miss a second of it.